Hey guys, Wayne Scully here, hailing from New York City, where we actually had pretty good weather today. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you about. But first, let me properly introduce myself. I'm with W. Scully CPA PC, and I'm a business and tax strategist. My focus is providing solutions to landlords, flippers, and real estate pros in the New York tri-state area. My firm offers tax compliance, business consulting, and high-value tax plan strategies to save you thousands of dollars. I hope that wasn't too fast. But anyway, I'm going to talk about the gig economy today. And the reason being, I had a really great webinar hosted by the IRS. They gave us some really cool updates, and I thought I'd bring it to you guys because, it's good for me to know, but it's very important for everyone to know, okay? And we're going to go through, just generally what the gig economy is, who are the players, and, how income is reported to them and how they're supposed to report their income to the IRS. So first of all, the IRS defines gig economy as labor market based on flexible temporary freelance jobs where an individual earns income by providing on-demand work, services, or goods. Actually, it may not be obvious, but it actually entails your home sharing services, right? Like I had occasion to stay in one, what they call these Uber's rideshare, and Airbnb is your home share. So I call it home share because you share your home with someone who you probably don't even know. In some cases, you don't share because you're not there in the physical sense. And since I focus on real estate people, I thought I'd kind of talk a little bit about that too. Now, well, the IRS basically is making it so that the Airbnbs of the world, people that are the payers, or they have to file individual returns, which is not new. They're called 1099Ks, 1099K, right? That's the form that they have to file. And they will report income earned. It used to be $20,000 transaction and transactions numbering 200 or more. Now it's basically if you make $600, the Airbnbs or the third-party processors need to report that you made that money, and they also report to the IRS. So, for example, if you use a credit card processor, they're going to be required to report. Okay, so try to stick with the Airbnb stuff. Again, I'm in the real estate focus, and I want to keep it on target with that. Now, so they're issuing the 1099Ks, and they have to report how much they paid. So Airbnb, the host, right, the person that owns the property, host visitors or their customers, patrons, or whatever you want to call them. So those guests, I should say guests, that's the proper terminology. The guests would go there, they pay their money, and then at the end of the year, the Airbnb has to tally up that the amount of money that they received on behalf of the host, and then report on a 1099K. They send a copy to the host and a copy to the IRS, right? And starting in 2022, that number is $600. So that's a very low bar, folks. That means the IRS is really looking for people to comply, really looking to increase the voluntary compliance, right, with income that's earned. So what happens to the 1099K? Well, in the case of a rental property, depending on how it's used. So if it's it's purely you providing the space for the person to rest their head at night or day, they would, meaning the person receiving the money, the host, would have to report that income on a Schedule E. However, if that individual also provides other services, like you would find at a hotel, They come, they make up your bed, they cook your food for you, because some Airbnb properties do offer those services, right? Those add-on services. I happened to stay at one when I was away, and they didn't do that. I had to do everything myself. I had to clean, cook, and everything myself, right? So in those scenarios, they report on a Schedule E. In the case where they're providing other services, and it depends on what services they're providing, but in those cases, they would report on a Schedule C, all right? So, and the distinction is a Schedule E, the biggest distinction, I should say, is a Schedule E, there's no self-employment tax attached to that income, whereas a Schedule C, there is, okay? So for those of you who don't know, the Schedule E doesn't account for FICA, right? Federal Insurance, Federal Insurance Contributions Act. That includes Medicare and Social Security. So your passive income, which is a Schedule E, doesn't include or doesn't require that such persons will report and have to pay that tax or those taxes. So in a Schedule C scenario, they will be subject to self-employment tax. So it depends. It clearly depends on what the income turns out to be, where it's reported. That's going to drive whether or not they pay that tax, right? So that's very important. That's very important. So when you're offering these services, you have to keep it in the back of your mind. It's part of the planning, how to go about saving on those taxes if possible. But if you want to talk about that in more detail, well, schedule an appointment with me to talk to me about that. So once they report the income, obviously they're reporting on a Schedule E, as I said before, a Schedule C. And then they file their taxes for this year. It's going to be April 15th or 18th, or 19th, depending on where you live. For most places, it's April 15th. I believe there are 2 states where it's going to be an extra day. And that's because of the holiday and so forth. I think I mentioned it earlier. The end of slavery in Washington, D.C., they extended the date for that. So there you have it, folks. Basically, as I said before, you have to make sure that you, report that accurately, report it completely, because again, the IRS is looking for cases where you're not in compliance, right? Where you're not in compliance. So make sure that you report that, and don't get yourself in trouble with the IRS, right? So if you have any questions about what I've just discussed or anything else, some of the taxes you're having, give me a call. My name is Wayne Scully. I'm with W. Scully CPA PC, always working around the clock to save you a chock full of money, time, and stress. Make an appointment by visiting my website, www.wscullycpa.com. That's www.wscullycpa.com, or call me toll free, 855-254-1892, 855-254-1892. Please comment, like, and share this video. If you didn't like it, still share, because you never know. Somebody might really need this information, okay? Thanks, guys. Until next time.